So let's call the Board of Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, April 8th to order. All those who are able, please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, got kind of a full room today. Do we have any public here for comment for items not appearing on today's agenda? All right, seeing none. Any additions to the agenda from the board? No? Okay, moving on to the meeting minutes. If they're fine, we'll take a motion.
I'll move to approve the minutes from the meeting held April 1st.
I will second that.
So we have a motion and a second to approve the minutes for the meeting held on April 1st. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose nay. Motion carries. We have two announcements today, both from the Center County Recycling and Refuse Authority. I believe, Amy, you're kicking it off?
I can kick it off.
All right. So, yeah, that's good. Yeah, why don't you sit the one closer to Steve? He usually doesn't bite.
No,
Right.
that keeps Ted away from us.
Well, hi, I'm Amy Scherf from the Center County Recycling and Refuse Authority. Every year I come here in April to talk about our household hazardous waste collection event. This year it will be held on April 25th and 26th. I don't even have to give you the times because you need to go online to make an appointment.
All right.
So if I tell you the time, you need to go on and make an appointment. We're about at 650 registrations right now out of
Okay.
1,200. So it's just that free time of the year where you can bring all your, chemicals, your flammables,
Yeah.
your oil-based paint, everything like that, to our free event, and we will dispose of it properly.
Great, and I know there's a short list of things you won't take, which I believe includes tires and dynamite.
You know what? Yeah, definitely not dynamite.
All right.
Not dynamite. We had a little incident last year, where we had to close our event down. But speaking of tires,
Yeah.
May 3rd, we're having a tire collection event.
Oh, good.
So Center County residents can bring up to 12 tires
Oh, my.
to that event free of charge. We'll take them and recycle them. So
All right.
it's the weekend after.
So tires are just a different weekend.
They're just their weekend after, the next Saturday.
All
So
right.
if somebody would want to sign up for the hazardous waste event, they would call,
I would say the easiest way to sign up, just go to Center County Recycles, Google Center County Recycling. On
Yeah.
our homepage is the link.
All right.
All we need is your name and your email,
Mm-hmm.
and then the time you want to come. We're not collecting info from anyone, but we need an email in case something happens and we need to let you know that, you might not want to come that day. It
All
was,
right.
it was pretty crazy last year, but we have it under control this year.
like antifreeze,
Yeah, bring antifreeze.
Yeah.
fertilizer, any of that.
All of that, yeah. And if you have a question, you can call our office, but we have a huge comprehensive list on our website,
Yeah.
like A to Z, what you can bring.
Okay.
So just check that out before you come.
All right, and so that is Friday, April 25th, and Saturday, April 26th. And as you mentioned, you need to go to the website, reserve a time window, and at this point, you still have almost half of them still available.
Yep, we'll get you in.
Great. Anything else you wanted to talk about with the household hazardous waste collection event?
No, just that it's free and it's only one time a year, so
All right.
hopefully you'll be able to take advantage of it if you need to.
Good.
And it keeps so many chemicals
Oh,
and
yes.
hazardous waste out of the environment that
Mm-hmm.
people traditionally, I will say, may have neglected that responsibility. So it's fantastic that you're doing that for the community.
Yeah.
So we
And
don't
I-
need all that stuff in our streams.
No, not at all. I do believe you have somebody here to honor. Shall we bring him up too?
Yes.
Yes. Have a
Took
seat.
35 years for me to get number one on the agenda.
Yeah.
You're number two.
Well, officially, he was number one.
And you also have a very qualified compadre here with you as well, Denny.
Yes, our chairman
Yes.
of our board,
So we
appointed by the three of you.
Yeah.
We want to hear from Denny then too.
Yeah. Yeah, Denny, you want to come up to the podium and
I'm
say
gonna
a
give
few
you my
words,
chair,
or-
Denny.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Here, you can sit right here, and I will stand while. Good, thank you. We have to gush over you two.
Let me tell you honestly, I've been on many boards in Center County since '96, and working with the Recycling and Refuse Authority Board is an absolute honor. It is the most fantastic place to visit.
Yes.
Amy does tours. Last week, she did a tour of 4 and 5-year-olds, probably too young, but the adults that come, the teenagers that come, they have no idea how complex that system is. They see a trash truck, the new trash trucks pick it up, and the red recycling trucks, and they think that's it. But when you get into the transfer station on Transfer Road, you really see the complexity of what you put out, leaving our building baled in a 2,000-pound bale of plastic bottles or cans. It's a phenomenal operation.
Oh, it is.
And one of the leaders in the state. They look on us as the innovators in trash and recycling in Pennsylvania. And it's because of people like this at our staff that have been here for far too many years.
Hey, just remember though, there's 6 people that have been there longer than I have.
Yeah,
Wow.
I'm not sure what the
You
accumulated
wouldn't find
years.
them in one of those bales, right?
Yeah.
We never met a can we didn't like.
And the most interesting thing is our new solar project. We're putting solar on 3
Right.
buildings.
Yeah.
It's great.
And it will generate 130% of our electricity.
Wow.
We will sell the excess to Clean Energy, which is down on Transfer Road. We buy their gas, they buy our electricity. Sort of a symbiotic kind of relationship.
Very nice.
And that's because of Ted's leadership.
Yeah.
And
really,
good board members.
Yeah.
he convinces us to do these things. So.
Right?
I've been on the board for about 11 years now.
Yeah.
And it's the best group I've ever worked with.
Wow.
Tremendous. And actually, I think you're underselling it a little bit, Denny, because actually, I believe the Center County Recycling and Refuse Authority is actually very prominent nationally.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And again, I might be a little out of date here, but I believe we are the only recycling and refuse authority where everything is sorted by the citizens at the pickup point.
Pretty much.
Yes. Which is tremendous for not only your organization, but the citizens of Center County
Which
as well.
some people don't like.
Well, it's a lot easier if we just do it right before we put it out.
Yep.
Yes.
Curbside sort versus single stream. Can you imagine all the things you put in one big can and taking it to our place and having someone sort it?
Tremendous
Just
amount of effort.
think of the garbage that's in there.
Yeah.
Our curbside sort system is so smooth,
Yes.
works so well.
Yeah.
We're having a few hiccups in the new pickup system in the center region. We'll get over that.
All right.
Just put your can out in the right direction.
Yes.
Yeah.
One of the other things is, I'm very actually proud to say that Center County is one of a limited number of counties that actually collect glass.
Yep.
A lot of counties don't have the capacity to recycle glass. And we all know, not only is it volumetrically a huge issue, but also weight-wise.
And we're working on a
It's
new
not lot of
system
landfills.
to collect glass and grind it on site and sell it back to Brockway Glass in, Illinois Owens Glass
Yeah.
in Brockway.
Oh, wow.
Nearby.
His innovative thinking again will get us to that maybe in a year or so.
Excellent. Great idea, Ted.
Good job.
Yeah.
And we're interested in some property from the prison if in fact that ever happens. We need to expand, we need more space.
Oh,
Put it
All
on the
right.
table.
Interesting.
Thank
good.
you, good job.
Yes, thanks. What, anything you would like to say, Ted?
No,
You've led a
no,
great
I'm-
organization
I'm
for a long
content.
time.
Yep. I was telling Steve that, just 35 years with no upward mobility potential. Which you people are in the same situation.
To an extent, yes. Yeah.
But it's been a lot of fun, so.
Good. Well, you've run a very
And it's
tight
been-
ship.
And like I said, it's been good board members. I think
Yeah.
out of 7 board members, 5 of them are on their 2nd or 3rd term. So
Good.
you're putting in people who enjoy it,
All
and
right.
that's a good thing.
Good.
Yeah, you've represented Center County very well.
I think when I
Yeah.
first got this job, I was so happy I went and bought a shotgun at a local sportsman's store.
There you go.
Oh, there
Never
we go.
realizing the guy that sold it to me would be standing here 30
Yeah?
Something like that.
Was it an over-under?
Yep.
All right.
Yeah, we're really, we're just thrilled that,
Yes.
well, first of all, you made it to retirement.
Yep.
But at the same time, you're still gonna be around if Denny and.
Yeah, I tell
Amy-
people I won't miss him because I'm not going anywhere.
Good.
I would think you would be on speed dial on.
Yes.
We're putting him on a retainer.
Very
with-
smart.
With no end limit.
All right. Very smart. Anything
Right.
else you'd like to add?
Yeah, just,
Concepcion?
we read sometimes these stories of other recycling operations in other parts of the country where there's, a lot of, missing in terms of what's actually, from what is supposed to be recycled to what they're actually doing in terms of recycling. And I know Center County is one of the most exemplary in terms of actually recycling the vast majority of what is recyclable that reaches your facility, that it's actually that this is actually happening. And so people can feel secure when they put a can in their recycling bin and put it out to the curb, that can is going to be recycled.
And a lot of people think plastics are not getting recycled. Last month, we got more for HDP natural milk jugs than we did for aluminum cans.
Wow.
Wow.
Okay.
So
All right.
it's not the plastics being thrown away, it's pretty valuable.
Good.
Good.
That is great to hear.
Piles of plastic
Yeah.
the size of this room, just mammoth piles of stuff, so.
Good.
I can remember a meeting a number of years back when, and Joanne and Denny came and they talked about 100% of all goods would be reused. And I think you're racing toward that goal.
We're getting
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
And a bunch of miscellaneous stuff,
Yeah.
all the electronics.
Yes.
Right.
There are boxes and boxes and boxes of computers and monitors and it's
Yeah.
all at no cost to people. Bring it in, we'll get rid of it.
And I think all three of my kids have gotten to take field trips to the recycling facility over, during their times in school, in elementary school. And I think those kind of educational efforts that you all do really help people think about, like that everything we buy and that is we're disposing of, it all has to go somewhere. And that that this infrastructure exists to do that. And I think helping all of us be more thoughtful about our purchases and, what we're putting back out into the waste stream is
We
really
think of it
important.
as a transient community because of the university, but we're actually having parents bring their kids that the parents were through when they were kids. When they were kids.
Yep,
That's what happens when you're there 35 years.
right. That's pretty cool. Yep.
Ted, what's your most proud moment in 35 years
Oh, I
of public service?
don't know if there's a proud moment.
Oh, you have to have one that stands out.
I'm not sure. I mean, it's all been fun.
Oh.
I'm just trying to think, nothing really stands out that much.
Oh, all right.
I would have thought maybe I know one of the challenges that you have is, what, a half dozen or so times a year, you get 106,000 of
Yes.
your closest friends move into town and generate a lot
That's been a challenge, and it's still a challenge.
of work for you.
Yep.
And you somehow figured that
That's
out.
probably one of the low moments, we've never been able to figure out how to get 100,000 tailgaters to
Yeah,
sort.
we've
their
been so
dirt.
many people into the
Yeah.
area that aren't familiar with what recycling is. And aren't familiar with trash handling. And to educate that group
Right.
and to clean out a stadium with all those people and get all that stuff
Yeah.
to our
Right.
transfer station on Sunday and Monday. And have people go sort through all that stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a tremendous effort.
Yes.
Yeah.
The biggest challenge, interestingly, is the little green propane canisters. We have
Oh, we got to be careful with those.
probably 15 4-foot square boxes
Yeah.
full
Oh,
of
my goodness.
empty green canisters. And they can't be crushed
Right.
because
Yes.
there's gas in them.
Right.
Right.
What do you do with them? Besides
We're
collect them?
working with a company in Michigan
Yeah.
that's gonna develop a way to drill a hole in them and evacuate them, and then
Yeah.
they can be crushed.
And you can't pump the gas into the air. That's
No.
him.
No.
So. And we're coming into the season,
Yeah.
we'll start getting more green
Yeah.
canisters.
Yeah.
So if you need green canisters, we have them.
All right.
Well, there are systems you can actually refill them, so. There you go.
Can you?
The little green ones?
Yeah, they have refilling systems.
Well, we haven't gotten an audience doing that yet. They're
Yeah.
throwing them away, so.
Well, we really appreciate
Yeah.
you coming in and
Yeah.
Amy and Denny bringing your boss in to make sure that everything is good for the future. So I'm sure you've got laid a good groundwork.
And we're in the early stages of looking for his replacement, and
Yeah.
it'll be a while yet, but we're working on it.
Good,
Tough
Okay.
shoes to fill.
yes.
Irreplaceable.
Yes.
Nobody's
Sorry, no,
irreplaceable.
he is, no, he
Yeah.
is, he
Yeah.
They're
is.
just tough.
I'm saying it. It's gonna be tough.
Only
It's
because
gonna
her
be tough.
evaluation's due next month.
Then she becomes irreplaceable.
Not on me, though.
We have more press in the room than usual. Any questions for anyone associated with the
Do you
recycling?
recall ballpark number in terms of monthly or yearly, the amount of tonnage that came through transfer station when you first started compared to today?
It was probably about 65,000 tons back then, and it's pushing 115,000 today.
Is that simply due to growth in the area or other factors?
Other factors, I think, that some of it obviously is due to the growth in the area, but a lot of it's due to construction and demolition too. But, and on the flip side, the recycling has gone down a little bit. But a lot of that's, I can remember back in the 90s, we used to have issues down in Millheim, the 6 compartment drop-off boxes that we have, the glass would fill up first. But yet in the center region, the plastic would fill up first, because the younger generation would buy their ketchup and stuff in plastic bottles. And you get in the rural areas with the older populations, they buy it in glass. But now, there's very little stuff like that made in glass anymore.
Yeah.
It's all plastic. I think when we first started, we had a downstroke baler, which wasn't computerized or pressurized that much, that we probably did about 40,000 soda bottles in a ton. Today, it takes 80,000 bottles to make a ton, because the plastic is
Yeah.
so much
They thinned it
thinner.
out, yeah.
And we had to take the caps off the bottles then.
Yeah.
But now with the new balers, you don't have to, because the
Right.
pressure
All right.
allows you to compress them.
The difference in weight of an aluminum can is,
Yeah, they're thinner.
used to be, what, 12 to 15 cans per pound, and now we're about
Yeah, I don't know what it is now.
probably
But
30
you got new-
cans per pound.
Wow,
In new technology with a lot of the microbreweries now, they're making the labels out of PET.
yeah.
And the automation that's being used to sort them doesn't recognize it as an aluminum can, it recognizes it as a plastic bottle. So that's causing problems. If any of you drink O'Doul's, and I think it was O'Doul's in Guinness, they put a little plastic thing inside of it. When you pop the tab, it releases CO2
Yeah.
to give it a good head.
That's a nitrogen capsule.
Yeah.
That contaminates the aluminum bale.
Oh.
But because we do source separated
Yeah.
at the curb, we're able to pick them out,
Okay,
where a machine won't pick it out
Yeah.
because it doesn't know plastics inside.
Huh.
So,
So the folks who are doing that work have to know.
Recycling could or would tariffs impact the recycling market?
the biggest place that's gonna impact us right now is in equipment purchases. We're looking at putting in some automation on the sorting line and a new baler, both of which come from Canada. So we haven't, found out yet whether that's gonna impact us or not. Of course, there's already people trying to get around it, saying, let's ship it to Europe, and then from Europe we'll ship it to here. Well, now that may not work either.
And interesting is the biodigester system that the sewer authority
Yeah.
is building is coming from Canada.
Yeah, the next big wave will be organics.
yeah.
Right.
And we're working on that too, so.
Oh, good,
Good.
good.
Yeah, you sell the UAJA compost up there as well, don't you?
We're selling State College Borough.
Or State
compost.
College Borough, okay.
UAJA
Oh, that's
stopped composting because they're
Okay.
building a digester,
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
which they're gonna be creating renewable natural gas. Which will be another way of closing the loop.
Right.
Any additional, good questions, Gary, any additional questions from the press? No?
I think my first
Yeah.
interview with Channel 6, Mike Porter was the cameraman, Gary was the reporter.
Yeah.
Gary was carrying the camera around on his shoulder.
Which he still does.
Yeah,
Well, the efficiency, they're down to one person now. They're down to two.
Right.
Well, he's, now talk about irreplaceable.
Yep.
Yes.
Let's move on.
All right.
That's when they used to have the Center County report, was 5 minutes at the
Yeah.
6 o'clock meeting.
You guys have done a fantastic job, and Ted, your leadership has just been remarkable, so we can't say enough good things.
Onwards and upward.
There you go.
So, thanks so much for coming, and we do have a certificate of recognition, so why doesn't everybody come on up and center on Bellefonte? I'm sure we'll spill all the way past Milheim on the map.
Is that on recycled paper, Mr. Chairman?
I'm not sure.
Recycle from Center County paper.
That's right. Sustainable forest.
That's
Come on
right.
over then, come on over toward maybe Ferguson. That's the
Tuck right in there.
person who's
There
honored.
you go.
Can you get us all, JJ?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Smile.
All right. Make sure you send Amy a copy so that.
Thanks, Amy.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes, congratulations.
If you need any help keeping this crew under control, let us know.
I'll
Thanks,
be in
Ted.
touch.
As always.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
Hey, we gotta get back to picking up.
There you go.
Yes.
Back to work.
As they say, it never stops. All right, now we have two proclamations today. Proclamation 14 proclaiming April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month. And I think Jennifer is leading that one off. So I don't know which you'd prefer, the podium or the chairs.
Whatever you would like.
Well, I think the chairs gives the press better shot, so go ahead and have a seat, or a couple seats. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for having us. I'm not used to the company chairs. This is great.
Yeah.
Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
My name is Jennifer Pensick, and I'm the Executive Director of Center Safe. And this is Avery Heverly, who is our wonderful prevention educator. So you will see Avery going all over Center County, doing a lot of our outreach and education efforts. So as part of April, serving as National Sexual Assault Awareness Month, Center Safe is spreading awareness and education throughout Center County, emphasizing the theme of Together We Act, United We Change. Center Safe celebrates its 50th anniversary this year, honoring decades of tireless work supporting victims and survivors of sexual assault, domestic violence, and stalking right here in Center County. Each year, Center Safe supports approximately 200 individuals of all ages and backgrounds as they navigate the trauma of the aftermath of a sexual assault. Nationwide, 81% of women and 43% of men reported experiencing some form of sexual assault or harassment in their lifetime. As we honor the work of Center Safe, we also want to honor the lived experiences of thousands of victims and survivors who have had to navigate trauma and healing. We must remember that sexual assault at its core is a devastating abuse of power, one that affects people of every identity. It is on all of us to stand up and speak out against it, not only to improve the laws and services available to victims and survivors, but also to change the culture and attitudes that allow sexual assault to be so prevalent. The theme, Together We Act, United We Change, highlights the importance of working together to address and prevent sexual abuse, assault, and harassment. This campaign focuses on enhancing public understanding of sexual violence, amplifying the voices of survivors, and empowering us to work together to promote the safety and well-being of others. Everyone in our communities deserves to live in a safe and supportive environment where they're treated with respect. When our workplaces, schools, and communities work together to uphold safety and respect, we make progress in preventing sexual abuse, assault, and harassment. We very much appreciate the support and collaboration given by community partners like our friends who are part of the Better Together Collab, and of course, local, county, and statewide leaders joining our efforts to support survivors and end violence. Center Safe provides free and confidential services for anyone in Center County, including counseling, advocacy, legal support, outreach and education, shelter, housing, and safe custody exchange and supervised visitations through our Child's Access Center. Our 24/7 hotline is toll-free. It's 877-234-5050. And people can learn more about Center Safe at www.centersafe.org. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jennifer. And not unlike the county, I know Center Safe is funded through a mosaic of federal grants, state grants, foundation grants as well.
Absolutely.
But the contributions, both from volunteerism and local philanthropy, is absolutely crucial to Center Safe. If you could expand on that a little bit.
Absolutely, and that's a lovely way of wording the funding. It's a
Yes.
mosaic of funding. I'm like, that's a nice way to say it. But absolutely, we receive funding from local, state, and federal grants. And I would say that's probably the majority of funding, but the rest, I would say 30 to 40% or so, comes from just private fundraising. And it's not, the uber wealthy, it's people who give $5, people who donate during our different campaigns. And without a doubt, we wouldn't be able to do the work that we do without our community members, whether it's people who volunteer on our hotline. And volunteering can be, answering calls from people who are in crisis. It could be helping at, a tabling event.
Yes.
People who want to help in our office. People who just want to help, spread the word about the work that we do, which is really, really critical. It's really just, though, the community believing in the work that we do and really wanting to do even just little things just to have an impact. So we always give tremendous thanks to Center County, not just officials, but to people who live all over, because they're the people who we try to help, but they're also the people that make a difference too.
And we very much appreciate the assistance you give in areas like transitional housing. Because if someone does decide to leave an abusive situation, oftentimes they really don't have anywhere to go except Center Safe.
Right. Oh, we've had people show up with absolute just nothing.
Yes.
We've had people who are lucky and have maybe a vehicle or have, their suitcases with them. But, without a doubt, I think a big barrier to people to fleeing is just the what ifs. And even just maybe a lack of financial stability, housing stability. Unfortunately, people sometimes, even though they may be experiencing violence, that's something that they are used to. But it's the unknown that feels really, really
Yes.
terrifying, which I can understand. So we try incredibly hard just to make the unknown not be so scary, or at least let people know that there are options. And even if for whatever reason we might not be the best fit, we're never going to just kick someone to the curb.
Right.
There are so many amazing resources and organizations, and we're always going to figure something out.
All right. Well, Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, so thanks for being here today. And I think, one of the things that Center Safe does is a tremendous amount of local outreach and education so that people understand the impact of these behaviors and also can recognize that sometimes something that, as you have said, sometimes people get used to or have become kind of acclimated to a certain level of violence. And it's a really, one of the things that your organization does is that education piece to know that there is a path out of those situations and that there
Right.
are people who can help. And also, educating, I know you've done a lot in schools to educate kids about what is appropriate and what is not appropriate.
Absolutely.
And those efforts are really important prevention efforts as well.
Absolutely.
And I will give a shout out for the dinner series that you're holding
yes.
over the
Oh,
next month or
yes.
so. There's a number of dinners. I think if people go to your website, can they see those
Yes, so
opportunities?
people go to
So-
centersafe.org and just click on events. You'll see a tab underneath for Twilight dinners. So it's different fundraising dinners that we're having. Some really fun ones this year, I have
Yeah.
to say.
So you
Two
can
are
attend the
sold
one
out,
that-
but there's still a few that
Oh,
have tickets.
good.
Oh, yes.
Great, so
That
people
makes
can
me happy
attend the
when
one
we
that's
sell 'em.
convenient, right?
What's
And
that?
So people can attend the one that's convenient for their
Absolutely,
schedules.
yes.
Lots
Yep.
of opportunities to get together with our neighbors and raise some funds for a really important organization.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Dershowitz.
Well, Center Safe and your previous name, the Women's Resource
Yes.
Center, we've been partners for a long time in the Stop Grant, Stop Violence Against Women grant, and I'd like to give a shout out to Bernie Cantorna and the District Attorney's Office and our whole court system, the victim advocates that you've worked with, and the State College Police Department that has dedicated, detective to making sure that women are safe and families are safe in our community. And that to me is, I think, one of your shining moments in our community of making sure that we've all pulled on that same rope to make sure that people have the resources when situations exist that they get the services and care that they need. We really appreciate that. So
Our
thank you.
pleasure, yeah. I mean, we all have to really work together on it. It's not just Center Safe. It's not just law enforcement. It's not just any entity.
Right.
We all play a part in the problem, so we all get to play a part in the solution as well.
Well, glad we can partner with you.
Yeah.
is what I'm
Thank
saying.
you. We very much appreciate it.
Yes, thank you. As one of the roughly 100 human services nonprofits that the county works with, we're glad for the two groups coming today. Absolutely crucial work. Questions from the press on the proclamation?
Of course, your budget is federal, is it sizable or not? Or are you concerned about federal funds?
Well, we're definitely monitoring the federal funding situation for sure. It's really just part of our kind of grants package in terms of our, funding. So we're definitely keeping an eye on things and coming up with backup plans to the backup plans and whatnot. As of, right now, we are doing well, but we're definitely going to keep monitoring it.
Do you look to expand your services or facilities? Sounds like the need is growing. Do you look to expand?
There's always tremendous need. We're not looking to expand in terms of like physical locations or those pieces, but definitely in terms of services or just outreach. So Avery, for example, and our outreach and education team, they're always looking to build out. So get into more, school districts, have people embrace the, different programs too, especially our collaboration with Youth Service Bureau with our Smarter Parents, Safer Kids workshops. We always encourage people to sign up for those workshops. So we're always trying to build the people who we're reaching because you never know when someone's going to need help or when a neighbor is going to need help. So whatever outlets we can go down, we're always looking to build off of those.
Again, great questions, Gary. Anything else? No? Looks like we could take a motion.
Okay. I will move then to adopt Proclamation 14 of 2025 proclaiming April 2025 as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Center County.
And I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to adopt Proclamation number 14, proclaiming April as Sexual Assault Awareness Month in Center County. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, pose nay. Motion carries. Jennifer and Avery, and if you have anybody else with you, bring them on up.
Just us, our small lady crew.
Pleasure, thank you.
Thank you so much, appreciate it.
Indeed.
Avery, get on. Come on in, Avery.
Be more Penns Valley and Upper Boulevard, Lower Boulevard.
Y'all are good, y'all are good. Smile, 51. Good stuff.
Thanks.
Thank
And
you.
Ginger will get you a copy.
Thank you very much. Thanks, appreciate it. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Thank you for
Good stuff. Have a great day.
Thank you so much. You too. Thanks for my papers on the thing.
Drum roll, please.
All right. Now, another important proclamation, unfortunately one that has a little bit of relationship to the prior one. We are going to discuss proclamation number 15, proclaiming April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Center County. And do we have Leah around the corner? There you are. Okay, you're hiding.
They're all there.
Leah, Stephanie?
Yeah, Stephanie and our Better Together collaboration.
All right.
So I'm here, I'm just hiding.
Okay. All right. Would
Wherever
you
you
prefer him
feel
over
more-
here, Gary? All right.
Okay.
So, yeah, come on to the chairs and maybe
Here,
the
I'll
younger
give you my
people
chair
can
again.
stand in the back.
I'll give you my chair and you can have mine.
If there's four of you,
There are, yep, there are four, but I can share a chair and a mic. Stand.
offering extra chairs here.
They
There you
are,
go.
all right,
You can adapt.
so,
There you go.
all right. So good morning, I am Stephanie Holderman. I'm the agency liaison for Center County Children and Youth Services. And it's always an honor to be able to speak on behalf of the agency. And this morning, on behalf of the agency and the Better Together Collaborative, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be here today and show our appreciation for the board's continued support. In 2024, CYS responded to nearly 1,500 new referrals. Most of the cases, just over 1,200, were general reports. The agency investigated 234 cases of alleged child abuse, 18 of which were indicated as abuse. These indicated reports met the definition of abuse as per the Child Protective Services law. As an agency, we know we are fortunate to have the support of you, our commissioners, in order to meet the needs of the children and families in our community, and most importantly, to keep Center County children safe. Collectively, Children and Youth Services staff, along with our purchase providers, could not do the work we do without the resources made possible by you, the Board of Commissioners. The blue ribbons we wear today started in 1989 by Bonnie Finney in Norfolk, Virginia. She was unable to save her grandson from abuse. She wanted a constant reminder to fight to protect children from abuse. She chose blue as a reminder of the bruises on her grandson. Her campaign grew across other states and is now a symbol seen throughout April, as April is recognized nationwide as Child Abuse Prevention Month. During the month of April, we encourage you to please wear your blue ribbon and to spread the word to prevent child abuse and tell anyone who asks how they can help prevent child abuse. The Pennsylvania Family Support Alliance website is full of resources for that. There are links for mandated reporters to complete and update their training. Reporting suspected abuse and neglect can be completed in 3 ways. One is to go on the Child Welfare Portal, www.compass.state.pa.us/CWIS. Or you can call Childline directly at 1-800-932-0313. They're the call center for the state of Pennsylvania to accept all the calls and distribute it to whatever jurisdiction the incident occurred in. Or you can call Center County Children and Youth Services directly at 814-355-6755. Someone is there to help on either of those phone calls to answer your questions and help you assist with putting the incidents and reporting into the system. Thank you. And I have Kim with our CAC, Teresa Kiefer with YSB, and Jamie Sanfilippo with the YMCA with me today.
Pretty good collaborative.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming. Can you repeat those 2 phone numbers?
Absolutely. So Pennsylvania's Child Line and Abuse Registry is 1-800-932-0313. And Center County Children and Youth Services is 814-355-6755.
Thank you very much,
Yep.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
Obviously, this is horrific. We all like to think it doesn't happen in Center County, but it does. At least 18 times last year, 18 new cases. Obviously, the child at that point is looking at a very, very long, possibly lifelong road toward recovery. We appreciate all the other groups. Commissioner Concepcion.
Thank you. This is, probably one of the most crucial functions of county government in terms of protecting the most vulnerable citizens in our community. It's really heartbreaking to hear that there were that many cases of where you found child abuse had occurred. I'm really grateful that we have all these community partners that work together to help kids in these circumstances. And our Children's Advocacy Center here in Center County, I think, is really a model for the rest of the state in terms of how do we compassionately work with children who are in these circumstances so that all of their medical, psychological, and legal needs are being met in one location without them having to retransmit their story numerous times. So we're really grateful for that collaboration. And all of the employees that we have here in Center County Children and Youth Services are meeting people, on sometimes the hardest days in their lives. And it's a really challenging job, and we're just really grateful for the effort that they put forward because they know, they, are doing a life-saving job. So really grateful for all of your work. Thank you.
Thanks. Steve, I don't know which mic you want to do this for.
No, I just want to say thank you, Mount Nittany Youth Service Bureau, the YMCA, partners with Center County government on so many different projects. It goes hand in glove with Center Safe and the work that they do. So many other organizations in the community that have been supportive. It's just fantastic. And we just want to thank you for working with Center County government, not only at our level, but also at the judicial level as well, and being very effective in serving a mission that most would find difficult at best, and sometimes it's almost impossible. And what you've done is make a real big difference in our community, and we are very grateful. So thank you.
I'd also like to mention, one of the critical pieces of child abuse prevention is the reporters who report situations where they're concerned. And I think it's important to understand, as someone who's done the mandatory reporter training, it's not up to you as the individual making the report to determine that there was child abuse in this circumstance. It's your responsibility to make a report if you have a concern, and then professionals are able to work with that family to understand the circumstances there and what kind of help that family might need and what is in the best interest of the children in those circumstances. So it's when in doubt, you should make a report when you have a concern and know that it will be taken care of in a professional and careful manner. So.
Do we have any questions from the press?
The numbers you cited in the new cases, when a report comes into police, are you folks automatically notified to come in to help with the investigation regarding, could there be other cases more than the?
Gene,
Yes, and Child Line makes that determination, but there is criteria that we meet to work jointly with the police on investigations.
Any other questions?
How many individuals have been trained in Center County?
Oh, yeah, that's a great point.
Stewards of Children, about 9,000 since we launched our initiative. We launched the new training in early 2024, and we've trained almost 400 adults to date in the new Darkness to Light Stewards of Children. That training still remains free and accessible to every adult in Center County, and it is in partnership with the Center County Youth Service Bureau, and it is sponsored by Mount Nittany Health. So we, obviously couldn't do it without them. So yeah, thank you.
Fantastic.
And as I remember, the tipping point is somewhere around 5% of adults trained, and we're just about there.
We trained 5% of the population many years ago. So we've actually surpassed that by quite a bit. So yeah, we're very fortunate.
And I think there's only a couple of the counties in the country that are at that.
Correct. Yeah, we are one of a handful of counties in the entire country that have done that. Yeah.
Wonderful. All right. Unless there's any other questions, we'll take a motion.
Okay, I will move that we adopt proclamation of 15 of 2025 proclaiming April 2025 Child Abuse Prevention Month in Center County.
And I will second that.
We have a motion, a second, to adopt proclamation number 15, proclaiming April as Child Abuse Prevention Month in Center County. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Come on up, we'll do a big picture.
An absolute pleasure.
If you're not going to be up here later, you want to maybe take a photo or something? So if you're not coming up, do you want to take a photo?
The YMCA.
I think you're going to have to read the American flag for us to get four people.
That's fine, go ahead.
Oh, you were lying, JJ? All right. Make it good with JJ. Tell me about this guy? Okay. And it's 50 is far over.
Let us know when we're centered.
Beautiful.
We're good?
Good stuff.
All right. Thank you, Jeremy. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for coming. That one's mine.
All right. Thanks for coming in.
All right. You'll need that. Thanks, JJ. Okay. Moving
Thanks,
on
Leah.
to- Thank you. Thanks
Thank
for
you
coming. Moving on to section 8, we have a resolution. And I think once he's able to get to the podium, Jonathan will cover that.
All right, good morning.
Good morning.
Before you for consideration and adoption is a resolution authorizing the county administrator to enter into a 36-month contract with Snyder Brothers Incorporated for the purchase of natural gas at a rate of $4.819 per decatherm. Our current supplier is Columbia Gas of Pennsylvania, and our current rate is $6.26 per decatherm. We estimate our annual savings to be $17,800.
So over the course of the 36 months, that'd be approaching $50,000.
Correct.
Okay. All right, well, very happy to be able to save $50,000. And I think this is like the contracts we've had with Penn State in the past when they were purchasing electricity for us.
Correct. It's a very similar setup. With the current natural gas rates, the market is kind of volatile at the moment, so the rates could climb even higher than anticipated. So the savings could exceed our estimates.
Great, well, we thank you and your staff very much for bringing this across the finish line, and we also thank the people who pulled us aside at some meetings a couple months ago and said, hey, you might be able to save some money on natural gas too, and we're like, well, we're all for saving money if it's not going to inconvenience the county too much.
Absolutely.
Commissioner Concepcion, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, just thanks for your work on this, and I think being able to lock in this rate is really advantageous.
Yes.
Ditto. I mean, what can
Yeah.
you say? It's big, that's big money. And it's money that doesn't really come at a cost. I mean, it's we're going to be using gas regardless, and we're buying it less expensive, and that's a fantastic thing.
Yes.
So, appreciate it.
Yes, thanks again, Jonathan. Any questions from the press on this one? No? I'll take a motion then.
I will move to adopt Resolution 6 of 2025.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to adopt Resolution number 6 of 2025. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And Jonathan, I think you have multiple other items for us.
Yes. So the next item, I am seeking your permission to advertise the request for proposals for moving services for the 6 county offices that are moving from this building and Summit Park to the community service building starting in June of this year.
Thank you, Jonathan. I know that's going to be a lot of work because, as you mentioned, we're moving multiple county departments who are at 4 different locations currently. A lot of moving parts to that, and obviously we prefer if maybe they can figure out how to move us in the evening or over the weekends, which we know is prime time in that business as well.
Yes, absolutely. It's a massive undertaking to move this many departments at one time.
Yes. Commissioner Concepcion?
No, sounds good.
Mr. Dershowitz?
No, other than that building's looking pretty good, so kind of excited to see the complete project, but I think it'll be a significant upgrade for our human services particularly, so.
Absolutely.
Good work.
Okay. Then I will move to approve the advertisement for the Community Services Building Moving Services RFP.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve advertisement for the Community Services Building Moving Services RFP. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries, and I think you've got 3 more.
Yes, I have a couple change orders. The first is asking for your consideration and approval of a change order with Watkins Security to add additional access control readers and request to exit devices. These are for the records and IT suites at the Community Services Building, and they totaled $10,329.76. The second is a change order with GM McCrossin and Ainsworth Incorporated for water infiltration repairs, the installation of a dry pipe fire suppression system at the penthouse, and a generator exhaust piping changes. These total $67,757.57.
Great, thank you, Jonathan. In a project of this large size, you're always going to, even though you try to be real careful, you're going to find some upgrades you might want to put in, or perhaps something where code says, we'd like to see a little change here.
Correct, yes. The dry pipe was a code requirement. The water infiltration was a discovery with some excavation work, but it's all necessary changes for the building.
And I believe still well within budget.
Yes, we are well under the estimated contingency for change orders.
Commissioner Concepcion?
That covers it.
Mr. Dershowitz?
Nope, I just want to mention that we are working on getting, particularly the press, a sneak peek of what the building will look like when there's a little bit more advancement in the construction process. So hopefully we'll have some other public events to kind of showcase the facility and make it a little more available for what we're actually doing, because up to this point it's been a lot of concept, but we'd like to show you the product.
Yeah,
So,
we're getting close to the reality.
yes, we are.
Any questions from the press on those 2 items? No? All right.
Okay, I'll move to approve capital project items 1 and 2.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the 2 capital project items. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries, and 1 more item for Jonathan.
Yes, so I'm asking for your consideration and approval of a CoStarz contract with Nittany Building Specialties to replace the carpet in courtroom 2 of the courthouse. The current carpet has exceeded its useful life and is starting to show its age. So That totals $13,700.
Great, thanks, and I'm glad to see we get a CoStarz contract on that.
Yes, a local vendor from Port Matilda as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
Commissioner
All right.
Concepcion?
Yeah, no, it needs to be done from time to time.
Yes. No, I'm good.
All right.
I'll move to add the CoStarz contract with Nittany Building Specialties, Inc. to next week's consent agenda.
I will second that.
We have a motion and a second to add the CoStarz contract with Nittany Building Specialties, Inc. to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye. Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Jonathan.
Thank you. Thank you.
And now I believe Krista's covering an insurance policy for the district attorney.
Yes, good morning. Yes, I am representing the DA's office just for this item, and that is because they are, their liability insurance has come due, and the carrier that we are choosing to go with this year for a nominal increase is the NDAA Lawyers Professional Liability Insurance Policy. So I'm asking for your consideration to approve the contract total for $33,933 for the period of June 6th, 2025 to June 6th, 2026. This is
Right, well,
professional liability.
Thank you, Krista, and thanks for keeping that to a small increase. I've been hearing from commissioners in other counties that insurance costs are going up drastically in many
Yes.
cases.
Yes.
Didn't we used to have this through Lloyd's of London at one time?
Yes.
I think so, yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
very few times you can actually say you have an insurance contract with Lloyd's of London. Reflect on that.
Commissioner
Yeah.
Concepcion, anything like that?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right.
I'll move to add the contract with National Specialty Insurance Company to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract with National Specialty Insurance Company to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thanks.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
Krista. And now we have Norm with 3 different contracts for 911 emergency communications, and I think a couple of them are local.
Yeah, good morning. Consider approval of CoStar's contract for our 911 capital tower projects with Breons Incorporated to provide diesel generator for the Pine Grove Tower site. This project will include labor and materials and remove the old generator, transport it to Milesburg, transfer the fuel, freight, and tariffs. The contract is $31,366 for the period of January 1 through December 31st, 2025. The second one is approval of a state contract with Capital Area Communications to replace the power supplies on the Motorola equipment as part of the UPS replacement project. They will supply and install 7 new rack-mounted power distribution units in the Motorola equipment racks. The new units will allow additional power redundancy off the secondary UPS in the IT department. That contract total is $28,507.22 for the period of April 1st through December 31st. And the last one is a contract addendum with Mission Critical Partners to provide professional consulting services and their 911 staff expertise for the complicated UPS replacement project. MCP will work with our technology partners and Southern Allegheny partners to make sure essential technology is in an operational state during the transition to the new UPS. The contract addendum is not to exceed $12,000 for the period of April 1st to December 31st, 2025.
Great, thank you, Norman. We'd like to thank 911, our IT department, and our suppliers for substantially improving our electrical backups in 911 and for bringing the project in under budget. Appreciate that.
Yeah, it's going to be a big project, but I think we've got a good team in place to make it work, so.
Commissioner Concepcion, anything?
Yeah, no, thanks. I mean, this is a department that relies on complicated technology, and making sure that we have it backed up with, power at all times is absolutely crucial, so thank you.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
No, it's all good. Thank you for your hard work. I know it's a lot of diligence to keep this system
Yes.
operational.
I'll move to add the 911 emergency communication items 1 through 3 to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the 3 items for 911 emergency communications to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Great. Thanks. Thanks, Norm. And then I believe there she is. Kristen has an item for Human Resources.
Yes, good morning. I'm requesting approval of the SEIU Pennsylvania Social Services Union, PSSU, contract for our corrections officers at the correctional facility for the time period through December 31st, 2028.
Great, thanks for bringing that forward, Kristen, and always happy to have those be roughly 4 to 5 years long.
Yes, we try to do as lengthy of a contract as we can with them.
Yes, yes. Commissioner Concepcion, anything?
Oh, sounds good.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
No, it's good to see we have a strong relationship with the correctional officers and their union, and we can make that relationship last until 2028, is it?
Yes, 2028.
Perfect, thank you.
Great, so again, we'd like to thank SEIU Local 668 that represents the corrections officers for another 4-year contract.
Yes.
Covering us through the end of 2028. Any questions from the press on that? No? All right, we'll take a motion.
All right, then I will move to approve the SEIU Pennsylvania Social Services Union Local 668 contract.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the SEIU Pennsylvania Social Services Union Local 668 contract. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay, motion carries. Great,
Thank you.
thanks, Kristen. And now Chad, who probably heard a little bit of praise there out in the hallway, has an item for us.
All right, yes. This morning I have a consideration for a contract approval with Moorfield Communications to provide a setup and configuration of our Mitel phone system at our new community services building. So this will be a one-time contract for this work for $23,132.50.
Great, thanks, Chad, and thanks for working on that. Obviously, as we're transferring, I think it's pushing 200 people into the new building. That's upwards of 200 phones.
Yep.
So appreciate your work on that. Anything else, Commissioner Concepcion?
Sounds good.
Commissioner
Thank you.
Dershowitz?
No, it's perfect, thank you.
I will move to add the contract with Moorfield Communications to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract with Moorfield Communications to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks, Chad.
Thank you.
And now, moving on to Human Services, I think we have Brandy from Aging.
Good morning.
Morning.
I'm asking for consideration for a contract amendment for Caregivers America for a 1-year extension. They provide personal care services for our options program. There's no change in rate per hour. The contract is for July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026. And the total would be $84,480. This would be giving us another options agency to provide personal care for in-home.
Great. We very much would like to thank them for providing the extension, and I believe it was actually at no increase.
No increase.
No increase, which is tremendous.
Okay.
Commissioner
That's great.
Concepcion?
Yeah, thank you. Sounds good.
Just is there a waiting list for that program now, or?
There currently is a waiting list. We're taking 10 people off right now. And then we probably have about 16 more that are on the waiting list.
Okay.
All right. Good to know. We do want to thank the state and the federal government for the funding that helps provide these services.
Thanks, Brandy.
Yes, thank you.
I'll move that we add the contract addendum with Caregivers America to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract addendum with Caregivers America to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion
you.
carries. Great. Thanks, Brandy.
Thank you.
And now Julia has an item for MHID EI drug and alcohol.
I do. Good morning. I'm asking you to approve a contract addendum number 1 with Eagle Valley Personal Care Home. And this is to provide additional funds for housing support. This is for one individual. We're waiting for him to be eligible for a waiver, which would then pick up the cost. So this is just an in between. We have him in the Eagle Valley Personal Care Home. They call it respite for right now, and this will allow for us to pay for that so that he can then be switched over to a waiver once he's eligible.
Thanks, Julian. We very much appreciate our partnership with the Eagle Valley Personal Care Home.
Yes.
They help us in a broad variety of areas.
Yes, yes, they really step up for us.
Yeah, the STEM family's been great to work with.
Yes,
I appreciate
yes.
Commissioner
Sounds
Concepcion,
good.
anything?
Thank you.
Commissioner Dershowitz?
Then I'll move to add the contract addendum with Eagle Valley Personal Care Home to next week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to add the contract addendum with Eagle Valley Personal Care Home to next week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Great. Thanks,
Thank you.
Julia. We also have a fairly big consent agenda. I
Yeah.
don't think there's anything controversial.
No, I think everything's
All
pretty
right.
straight up.
Yeah.
I'll move to approve this week's consent agenda.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve this week's consent agenda. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. And John, I think we have a CNET request.
Yes, good morning, Commissioners. Before you for consideration is sponsorship for the taping of the annual Ron and Mary Maxwell Community Spelling Bee, which will be held on Wednesday, September 24th, 2025, and this will be done via Zoom at 6 p.m. The educational event benefits the Mid-State Literacy Council, which provides free and low-cost education to adults in Center and Clearfield counties.
So great tie-in. Very much appreciate the work Mid-State Literacy Council performs. And thanks to CNET for fitting it into your schedule. Although I do hope that the commissioners do not need to participate in this actual
Oh,
event.
I'm up for it.
Oh, you're up for it?
Man, terrible. Then we're sending you.
Yeah, yeah,
I can spell, but I'm not good on the spot.
yeah.
We'll send JJ.
There we go.
Some of the words from past events, I can't even say them, so I don't know how you'd spell them.
There you are. There you have
All right.
Unless there's anything
Sounds
else
good.
from other commissioners,
No.
take a motion.
I will move to approve the CNET sponsorship for the 2025 Ron and Mary Maxwell Community Spelling Bee.
it. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the CNET sponsorship for the 2025 Ron and Mary Maxwell Community Spelling Bee. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, nay. Motion carries. Thanks, John. Moving on to the check run, Commissioner Concepcion.
Yeah, the check that I'd like to recognize today in the check run is to Center County Council for Human Services, which our human services agencies are a member of. And this council is basically a opportunity for all of the various nonprofit and governmental agency human services programs in the county to work together. And with that, I will move that we approve the check run dated April 4th.
I will second that. And seeing we saw a fair number of them in our meeting
Yes.
today, it's
Yep.
a pleasure to work with them. So. Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the check run dated April 4th. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
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 Opposed, nay. Motion carries. John, do we have an administrative report?
Nothing to report at this time.
All right, moving on to reports and announcements. Do we have a voters registration?
Yes, 1 second. So today on our the total voters on our report for today is 101,620. Of those, Democratic voters comprise 41,246. Green Party voters are 160. Libertarian voters, 558. Those with no affiliation, 15,554. And Republican voters come in at 42,073. All of the other small minor parties come to 2,029, bringing us to that total of 101,620, which is down 17 from last week's report. Our precinct of the week this week is, we're back at the top with Precinct 1, Bellefonte North. There are 502 registered voters at Precinct 1, and they had a voter turnout of 80% at the last election in November. Precinct 1 votes at the Logan Fire Hall at 120 East Howard Street at the main entrance. So we're starting again from the top here with recognizing our precinct each week.
Great, thank you, Commissioner Concepcion. Center County government offices will be closed Friday, April 18th in observance of spring break. Do we have any executive sessions to report or hold, John?
None to hold, however, there are two to report. The Board of Commissioners met to discuss a legal matter on April 4th from 12:08 p.m. to 1:06 p.m., and then met again on that same day to discuss a real estate matter from 1:31 p.m. to 1:46 p.m.
Great, thank you, John. Moving on to our public meeting schedule. Next week, Tuesday, April 15th, we have a Board of Commissioners meeting at 10 and an Employee Benefits Trust meeting at 1. And then on Thursday, the 17th, we have a combined Board of Commissioners and Salary Board meeting at 10 and a Board of Elections meeting at 3. Questions from the press?
Are there any goods or service, when you're talking about upgrading the electronic equipment for not, any goods or services, county purchases that could be impacted by tariff?
Oh, goodness, yes.
Most of them.
Especially on the equipment side, probably most of them. The world economy is very integrated, and autos are a good example. I think there's only a couple of automobiles that are 100% even assembled in the United States, and many, many, many of their parts come from all over the planet.
Let alone the raw materials.
Yes. And I used to work with Motorola many years ago in terms of, say, the 911 department, and they're definitely a multinational corporation where the circuit board might come from China. A lot of the components would come from the United States, Europe, Japan, etc. They might then be assembled in somewhere like Taiwan or Singapore, and then the box enclosing it is probably metal that comes from outside the United States that may or may not be manufactured in the country. So practically everything nowadays has an imported portion to it. So, good question, Gary. Any other questions from the press for today? All right.
It just came to me,
Yeah.
I'd like to, and I don't know the time, but on the 15th of this month, there's going to be the state-run public hearing on the proposed
Oh, yes.
closing of Rockview, and I believe that also the conversation about the Queehana Boot Camp. And
The Queehana one is this Thursday evening.
yeah,
Yes.
we need to pack the house that night to make sure that that the folks in our community all have a voice in regard to what the state may intend
Yes.
to do with the outcome of what I consider a pretty critical resource to our county. So
as a reminder for the public, the Department of Corrections listening session for the Queehana Boot Camp will take place this coming Thursday at 5 p.m. at the Community Alliance Church at 34,136 Frenchville Carthus Highway in Carthus. Just kind of head towards Snowshoe and then keep going to the northwest. And then for the next one, on the 15th, we have the Department of Corrections public comment for Center County, which I believe also starts at 5 and will be taking place at the Bald Eagle Area High School auditorium.
will it be just strictly a listening session, or will they present what their, at least partial what their plans are in regard to the conversation about the facility?
The title I have, and I believe the state legislation, is primarily listening.
Okay.
I don't
Is that-
think they're going to
is that
present any
accurate?
plans.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll see how it unfolds from there, but for the most part, that's accurate.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah. So good point, Commissioner Dersham. So for the public, 2 sessions, one Thursday, one next week Wednesday, both starting at 5 o'clock. And obviously, as Commissioner Dersham mentions, we'd like as many concerned citizens there as possible, so the Department of Corrections can see and understand how important these 2 facilities are to the inmates at the facilities who've been writing over 100 letters expressing their concerns. The citizens of Center County have turned out, even recently, by the hundreds at listening sessions sponsored by Representative Takak, and the wider economy of Center County would be taking at least a $118 million a year annual hit, and that's based on the 2023 numbers. So very important to the county, to our citizens, to our local businesses. Unless there's anything else, John.
Yeah, Aaron reminded me, we do have an exec session to discuss a personnel matter, so if we could enter into exec session.
Oh,
for
okay.
that.
All right, thanks. All right, so we'll take a motion to enter into executive session at roughly 11:10.
So moved.
Second.
We have motion and second, enter into executive session at 11:10 for a personnel matter. All those in favor do so by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries. I'm assuming we're just next door on that.
Yeah.
Thanks
everyone.
again for the press
Thank
for
you.
coming.